And hello YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment. Well, basically this is the final week before X-Men comes out this Friday, so I figure I might as well end it off with one of my personal favorites, X-Men Days of Future Past, also known as the Rogue Cut. Now I'm going to be talking about both versions about this movie because there are two different versions: the theatrical version and one that came out in theaters, and then there's the Rogue Cut, which is the scenes that Rogue, played by Anna Paquin, were cut off from the movie that was not played in theaters, so that's why there's Blu-ray. Alright, so now we have Bryan Singer, who is back in the helm of directing Days of Future Past. Now, he had a big task, okay? Vince Vaughn carried the ball and basically went into the pitcher's mound and shot out everything he could for the new X-Men, and he did a great job of First Class. Wolverine was a hit and miss, whatever. So now we have the closer. We do have Bryan Singer back. So he had a big job to do. He had to take two different teams and bring them together. And you know how sometimes if you have so many characters, it's very hard to keep them, realize them, If one character works, you got to make sure the other 50,000 characters in the movie works well. Because if they don't, it's all sloppy. And this movie's awesome. First of all, this movie basically starts off in the future with the original X-Men. And this movie kind of had a Terminator vibe. You know what I mean? It was dark, it was gritty, you have bodies from mutants, humans on the ground. So basically what happened was, in the future, there's these machines called the Sentinels. And their mission, they're just basically robots, and their mission is to wipe out the mutants. All mutants, wipe them out no matter what, gone. And if any human got involved and wanted to help out the mutants, because some humans accepted the fact that mutants are there and they just want to live in peace, they get killed too. So now you have Professor X, played by Patrick Stewart once again. His team on the run, hiding from what's going on. So they decided that they want to make a plan to have Professor X go back in time to prevent something from happening in the past that basically made this whole future a nightmare for them. Now, in the comic book, this movie is very different from what the comic book was. In the comic book, Bishop is the one who sends Kitty Pryde back in time to prevent something happen. Something in the past happened where the president got killed, and all the mutants basically were America's Most Wanted. So in this one, Kitty Pryde is the one who has the power. And if you know who she is, she's the one who can go through walls. But also she has the power to take people's minds back in time and put them back into the younger bodies. Like maybe a couple of days or years or whatever. Or a couple of weeks. And so Professor X decides that he wants to go back in time to stop Mystique. Mystique is, in this case, in the 70s, played by Jennifer Lawrence. She, and by the way, spoilers, if you've never seen the movie, big spoilers in the movie, so you've been warned. And, so basically, she basically killed this known scientist and government person, Dr. Oliver Trask. She killed him, and then the government decided, you know what, these mutants are a threat. Let's take his idea, because he wanted to build these machines to protect the world. He sees the mutants as fascinating creatures, but yet also a threat if you don't listen to him and you don't acknowledge that how big the threat they are, they can wipe out humanity. So he dies, and then his program comes to life, and then we have the future. So Professor X wants to go back in time and do it. Fortunately, he can't, because his mind is the most powerful mind in the world, and he probably will die. So they decide who better to send back in time than Wolverine. Dude doesn't age, dude can heal fast, so they send the best one, obviously, they send him back. So now when Logan goes back in time, he has to find young Professor X, played by James McAvoy, and he's got to get his help to stop Mystique. And basically that's the gist of this movie. And my God, this movie is awesome. First of all, like I was saying, how you have two separate teams of X-Men, okay? You have Patrick Stewart's X-Men from what the original ones were. The one that Bryan Singer basically started, with the thank you for that. And then we have the Vince Vaughn version, the one that he created with First Class. James McAvoy, Jennifer Lawrence, those characters. And this movie is awesome. It has all the characters, and it goes back and forth between both, the past and the future, and it does it so well. And when you watch it, it doesn't feel like you're confused, and it just works. I really enjoyed that. Action in this movie, spectacular. I mean, it's like beyond awesome. You get action in the past, which involves Magneto, obviously, once again played by Michael Fassbender. Brilliant, brilliant. Every time he plays this character, he gets better and better. I really cannot wait to see what he is now in Apocalypse. And then you have the old Magneto back in Ian McKellen in the future, and you show how he works in that time zone, meets the past. It just works, It's not like, if you're going through a highway, put it this way. If you want to put it this way, you're going through a highway, basically there's no traffic, it's just smooth sailing. But if you have a movie where the pacing of the movie stops, that means when there's like a lot of traffic. This movie is smooth sailing. This movie goes from the past to the present to the future perfectly. There's no bumps in it. There's no moments where you're like, that could have been better, this, and that. I mean, there are scenes in this movie that work a lot, and then there were scenes that they took out, like, for instance, the Rogue one. Now, hold on. This one is the Rogue cut. And in this version, something happens to Kitty Pryde, where Logan in the past gets, injured, and his body is, asleep in the future, and he cuts Kitty Pryde. So, what they have to do is they have to go get Rogue from the X-Mansion, because apparently in the future, they don't even explain it about how she's there. They just have the X-Mansion, and they're doing experiments on her, so they have to go back and save her. So in that version, they have to go save her, so she can take Kitty's powers and be the one who's, helping keep Wolverine in the past. So while they're doing that, in the past, you have Logan, Professor X, and Magneto all working together to try to stop Jennifer Lawrence's character, Mystique. And unfortunately, Magneto has his own agenda. He decides, you know what? If you guys are going to build these weapons, I'm going to use it against you guys, because honestly, I'm a little sick and tired of you guys attacking us. He decides to go all batshit crazy on everybody and use the robots against the humans. And this movie's great. Like I said, another good character in this movie, Peter Dinklage, as the scientist, Oliver Trask. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Couple of reasons. He plays a bad guy really well. I think I don't know too much about Game of Thrones, but I don't know if he's a bad guy there, and a lot of people like him there. I can see why a lot of people might like him. He's a good guy or a bad guy. He's very good as an actor. And, the best part about him being in this movie, they don't mention the fact that he's a small person. They just see him as a man. And that's 2 thumbs up in my book. It works. He's awesome. He has purpose, because, like I said, in his mind, he's doing, his country, his world, a service. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to be like, the twirling mustache villain, like, I'm going to kill the mutants and be the most powerful guy on the planet. No, he just wants to protect, basically, humanity, because he knows that if these mutants get out of hand, if, they decide they want to go crazy, he wants to make sure that America is prepared, or even any other country. He wants to make sure the world is safe. And that's his own way, Is he going to torture these mutants? Sure he is, but, that's because he thinks that they're evil. But, like I said, he's doing it not for himself, more for his country. But he's just kind of blind, if you want to put it that way. But, like I said, he works. Jennifer Lawrence, again, I felt she was kind of great, because you notice a lot in this movie where she gets better, and then you start seeing how you start comparing this Mystique to what Mystique was, in the original X-Men, and how evil she was, and how corrupt she was also, and it shows here, because, she does have that moments where she struggles to be good, but yet she wants to, she wants to listen to what Magneto told her. Like, listen, we gotta protect our own kind. We gotta make sure we do the right thing for us. So she starts following that too, and you notice it in the movie. It's awesome. And then there are scenes where James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender's characters talk. And it's just great dialogue. Just simply amazing. And I really, really like this movie a lot. I didn't even think I would like this movie this much until I saw it more than, like, I don't know, 7 times. I think I saw this movie in theaters. It's crazy. But I enjoy it. I highly recommend it. The Rogue Cut, I recommend getting the Rogue Cut because, honestly, it has all the deleted scenes in the movie and it has the Rogue scenes in it. And Anna Paquin, once again, playing Rogue, was great. She didn't have too many scenes here and there, but when she's in the movie, you see her and she does great. So I enjoy it. And then when you see the characters die in the movie, especially in the future, oh boy, you get your goosebumps. Like, oh my god, I can't believe they died here. So it's great. If I have to grade it, I'll give it a 10. I think it's awesome. My second favorite X-Men movie right now. Hopefully Apocalypse can beat this because honestly, I'm hoping it does. After what I've seen in the trailers, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So let me know what you think. Have you seen X-Men Days of Future Past? And what do you think about it? Have you even seen the Rogue Cut version? And which one do you think is better? Personally, I think the Rogue Cut version is better because it has more of the. It makes the movie longer and better at the same time. So yeah. So there you go. And there you go. There's all my X-Men reviews. I'm not gonna do Deadpool because honestly, I already have a Deadpool in my channel, so you can just go back and watch that. I'm not gonna do another one again because there's like no point. So yeah. And now Friday, X-Men Apocalypse comes out. Can't wait to see that movie and bring you my review. So thank you very much and hope you have a good day.